What it costs, yeah, I hit the ground and it go off, yeah, hit the ground and it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. It's the best morning show in finance. I am Spencer Israel, joined by JC Parets and Steve Strazza. Before we start the show today, quick public service announcement. Today is Friday. Obviously, you know that. We're coming into a long weekend. Markets are closed on Monday, so no show Monday. But in addition to that, there's actually going to be a couple of days in the next week or 2 weeks where we're not going to have a show. We're sending half our team and then some over to California to future proof. So this is a calendar. You've all seen this before, okay? We are not doing a show on Monday. That's this coming Monday, the 4th. We're also not doing a show next Friday, Friday the 8th. We're not doing a show the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th. So that's the 4th, the 8th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. Because people are going to be out of town, traveling on the West Coast. So that's just a quick PSA. If you want to call us and complain, I encourage you to do so. Call us, 323-421-7910. Complain about there not being any shows. Or at least not a show every day, and we will take all your feedback extremely seriously, as we always do. Okay, let's start the show. We got Scott Brown today. We got some monthly candles. It's Friday, so crypto, I guess. Oil we're talking about. Let's go.
Hey now, can someone tell me why today's not a half day for equities?
This week really flew by, huh?
Anybody have a I mean, I know we don't get a say in the matter. We don't work for the New York Stock Exchange, but seems to me like this would be a proper day for a half day. I'm taking a 2/3 of a day off, right? Strazza is jealous, Spencer. Can I just tell you?
I am.
Oozing FOMO, oozing out of him.
You got some good weather up there for today?
Man, what a day.
Man.
It's gorgeous. Low 70s, not a cloud in the sky. It was in the 50s this morning. No sweating, Strazza.
I went for a walk this morning. It was 57 degrees out. It was wonderful.
That's what I would do for some 70s golf. That's nice. Huh?
So I'm playing with Jeff Hirsch, Stock Traders Almanac, playing with a one Kenny Glick coming out. Talk about a foursome, and then my good buddy Bill. How about that? What a foursome. Strazza's like, I would have flown up for that.
I mean, yeah, it seems like you need a fourth too. I don't know why nobody invited me. I'm only a plane ride away.
Dude, you live in Key West.
I'm kidding. I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not going to invite you. We had my friend D'Amico. He hurt his back, so we had an extra spot. So I called Kenny Glick. Thought it was maybe a little bit of a stretch, a little last minute. Kenny's in. He's on his way now as we speak.
That's a great team.
It is a great team.
That's awesome.
It is a great team. Who's going to be the worst one out there? Probably me.
I don't know how Kenny is, but Jeff is better than you.
Jeff is better than me. Probably me and Kenny maybe tied for last.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill, he was like a quarterback in high school. He seems very athletic. So I think he's pretty good.
All right. Before we, move a second further and talk about anything else, explain to the chat what's going on. Why are you looking so festive today? What's going on?
Oh, wow. Oh, funny you should ask. I thought you'd never ask. So first of all, this is a Miami Hurricanes shirt. Tonight is opening night, Miami versus Miami, right? Very exciting college football.
My money's on Miami.
It's Crypto Fridays, so a little orange.
Yep.
It's kind of like a half day for me, so I'm already on vacation this weekend. So kind of like a few of a whole lot of things going on here. My daughter loves the shirt. My wife hates it.
I mean, look, you got the U and Bitcoin, same theme, one shirt. That's it. That's money.
Very festive, I think. Very festive. Listen, we got some monthly candlesticks. I don't know, you guys are talking about my shirt. We're talking about golf. Hello. Can we just talk about how we have monthly candlesticks? Maybe the most underrated analysis tool in the history of the stock market.
Yeah, we have them.
Are you gonna give me any pushback on that? The most underrated tool for investors in the history of the stock market.
Long-term charts, zooming out on charts. Yeah, it's up there. Relative.
I can't think of anything that's more underrated.
I haven't given too much thought to this, but I would have to throw relative strength into a conversation like this. That's usually my go-to.
How about the relative strength on the monthly charts? Hey now, let's go. Hit the bumper.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Bumper.
Come on, I'm going.
First of all, can we just talk about how we just saw the highest monthly close for crude oil futures since October? That was almost a year ago, Strazza. 10-month highs for oil? Are new 10-month highs things you normally see in downtrends?
No, and just looking at the chart, neither are 3 straight up months, really, for the most part.
Also true.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of these wicks, throughout the back half of last year and into the early part of this year, like these massive reversals in the middle of the month. Remember, we definitely were pointing them out. Ian McMillan, shout out Ian McMillan at the Chart Life. Also, I remember him pointing it out on the old Twitters. And now here we are getting some follow through to the upside.
Yep. You see those intramonth reversals right there. Buyers,
a bunch of them, like 6 of them in a row or something crazy.
Yeah, you see it right there at the 70 level.
Yeah. Listen, I think this is powerful, man. People get mad at me when I tell them that oil. I was at a party the other day on Saturday night. Party's a strong word. Next door neighbor had a thing. Actually, there were fireworks, so I guess it's a great way to wake up my kids. So anyway, I'm at my neighbor's house, and another one of our neighbors works at ExxonMobil, has worked there forever.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking to him about all these offshore drillers. He's just happy someone's talking to him about energy because nobody seems to ever care. So we get along just fine. But some of the others were not too thrilled about my energy projections. I didn't drop that 250 number. I know my audience, but I did say probably a lot higher.
So you're the dad at the neighborhood get together in the corner with another dad talking about crude oil.
I mean, first of all, it was not just me. It was me, and then there was a couple other guys, couple other traders as well.
Yeah.
What do you want from me, right? This is what we were talking about, and we're talking about oil. Can we also talk about this? I know it's an arbitrary anchor going back exactly 3 years, but can we look at the 3-year returns for S&P sectors? It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yep. This is such an important. This is so important, right? Because I
feel like a little bit dirty. I feel like I need to shower. I don't know, because I'm just arbitrarily anchoring to 3 years.
Yeah. Again, it's important context, right? For this sideways action that we've had in energy. I think when you zoom out and remember, this was the best sector for back-to-back years before this sideways action. We're coming off this massive uptrend. I think it provides some needed context for the consolidation that we've seen for the last year and a half now.
You know what makes me feel a little bit less dirty, Strazza?
What is it? Tell me.
I still feel a little naughty, but you know what makes me feel a little bit better about this one?
What?
These returns just so happen to be the sector returns since the Dow kicked out ExxonMobil.
Wait, you picked the date that Exxon was kicked out of the Dow?
Oh, I just picked arbitrary 3 years.
Got it. Okay.
But that is a coincidence. August 2020, Exxon was kicked out of the Dow, bro. And this is the returns in sectors since then. Energy's up 180%. Next best winner is nowhere near that. Tech at 46. Industrials coming in right there too. Financials, believe it or not, coming in at number 4, bat and cleanup. Didn't see that one coming. But how about that? These are the sector returns since they kicked out Exxon. It makes me feel a little bit less dirty, right?
Well, if you just go look at a chart of Exxon or energy or crude oil, what you just said, August 2020, we see this all the time. I mean,
Funny you should say. Spencer, next chart. Energy hasn't even broken out yet, bro.
Another unpopular take, probably.
Another very unpopular take. That's exactly right. But we're still below the 08 highs. 08. That was 15 years ago. 08. Spencer was in diapers. What were you doing, Strazza, in 08? You weren't trading yet.
I was a junior or sophomore in college.
That sounds like a good time.
I was mingling, sure.
Were you in Stores, Connecticut?
I was in Stores, yeah.
Is it a good time up there? I don't go up there.
I had a blast. I'm sure there are more fun college campuses, but if I could do it all again, I would go to UConn again. It was
okay. I would go to Fairfield again. Yeah, for sure. I got back-to-back home runs hit off me at UConn.
Really? And we're not that good at baseball. So
one was a hanging curveball. I definitely deserved it. Another one was a good pitch, low and away, and he just kind of poked it out over the right field fence. One of them, man, it was like 400 feet. Like this thing still hasn't landed.
So you would go up to Stores and you would play at UConn's field? It was right on campus. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. I still remember that. You know, that was the highlight of my career. Getting back-to-back home runs that off me at UConn. All right, so energy still has not broken out yet. Let's take a look at some of the components here. The largest component, ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
Let's see by how much it's the largest component. What percentage do you think it is without looking? Go.
Of XLE, 20%.
20%. Boom, 21%. Good guess. It's been that like forever. So
it wasn't a guess. Yeah.
It wasn't much of a guess. Chevron coming in at 18.5%. The old Schlumberger climbing up, sitting at 5.4%. And then EOG, Conoco, Marathon Petroleum, Pioneer, Phillips, Valero, and Oxy, rounding up the top 10 there for the XLE. Look at Chevron holding its highs. I got to tell you, the Chevron has been holding its highs for some time now. I feel like the Exxon is the one that really impresses me. Right? This is the blue chip. This is the bellwether, as we like to say, the bellwether of energy. Is it not?
It's clean, right? It's just now merging from this base. So it's a good level to get in at, right? You can define your risk, really.
My neighbor works at Exxon, but he says Chevron's better.
Wow, that's funny because that seems to be consensus.
All right, and then finally, probably the best chart for the quote-unquote state of the markets, I think, is low volatility hitting all-time lows relative to the rest of the market.
Yep.
All-time lows, Strazza.
All of them are making new lows. Staples, utilities on a relative basis. Investors don't want defensive stocks. What does that tell you?
Right. So historically, when stocks are under pressure, there's a severe correction. It's 1987 all over again, all those things. You get rotation into the defensive sectors, low volatility stocks, consumer staples. We haven't seen that at all. You also get rotation into treasury bonds relative to high yield credit bonds. We haven't seen that at all. High yield junk bonds. Haven't seen that at all. So the argument, the counter argument, the devil's advocate, if you will, is that bills are paying a lot. So that's where the money's going.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. I don't buy it. Do you buy it?
I think it makes sense. It sounds good to me. Why don't you?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Why? You know why? Because it's a relative strength.
Yeah.
Right? It's relative strength. It doesn't mean that money has to flow in there. It could go hide there when it comes out. Money's not going to flow out of these sectors and then into bonds. It's going to flow into other sectors. The long-only mutual funds, for example, can't buy bills.
They're buying utilities and low volatility stocks.
They're not, though. That's right. That's my point.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I like, for me, it's easy to think, with bonds or treasuries offering what they're offering, who wants these stocks? What, when
I know, but long only funds can't rotate their money to bills. They have to stay in stocks.
I don't know if that's true for all of them. I really don't.
It's true for a lot of them. What do you mean? It's in the mandate. They can't just buy bonds. They can't go to cash. They can't do any of that stuff.
Dude, some of these funds are allowed to go to cash, and that's done in the form of treasuries.
Right, fine, but not these long-only mutual funds that have to be long-only in equities.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Do you buy it?
For me, it's just everything else equal. If you're getting 5% risk-free in the bond market, it makes these a lot less attractive.
Fine, but not to long-only funds. They don't have that option.
Fine. I'm not a long-only fund. So.
I know. Thank God. I'm not either. For sure. 100%. Agreed. But that's not the point. The point is long-only funds would be rotating into these defensive areas, and we're not seeing it at all. We're going to ask Scott Brown what he thinks instead of us two knuckleheads arguing about something that's not even – I mean, it's not that it's not relevant to us. It is as from an analysis perspective, not from an execution standpoint. But it's interesting to think about. And the counter argument being that they're going into bills. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. And that's me. That's the state of the markets. Why don't you hit that crypto bumper before we bring in Scott?
We're going to do the crypto now? You want to wait? The bumper. JC just wants the crypto bumper.
I neglected to mention actually I didn't neglect to mention. I didn't mention it on purpose because I knew you guys wouldn't care, but we did have a jobs number out this morning for whatever that's worth. Looks to me like it was pretty mixed, so the market seems to like it. So take that for what it's worth.
The market likes what? I missed it. I just told you.
Jobs number. See, I told you. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't care.
I heard something about economic data.
There's too many numbers. They need to
jobs, non-farms, not the farms, the non-farms.
Me and Strazza are more interested in the farm payrolls.
I know you are. One of these months. Yeah. One of these months, maybe we'll get some.
Nobody hates on the farmer payrolls. I'm interested in the farmer payrolls. What do you want to do? Are we bringing in Scott, or are we going to go to crypto?
Well, let's bring in Scott, and then we'll do some crypto. All right, Scott. Scott, you ready? Yeah, he's ready. We'll bring him in. Ready. Scott Brown, here he is.
Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Scott, what's going on, my man?
Not too much, man. Just ready for a long weekend.
I like it. Happy Friday. College football, long weekends. The fall is here. You can feel it in the air. Where are you living these days, Scott?
I live down in Charlotte. It's warm here, but it's been like 98 for a month and a half, and it's like 80 today. So it feels like fall or something close to it.
And who do you like in college football?
I'm an Auburn fan, so I got the game day wear. We got a cupcake matchup this week, but it's a game.
Dude, Miami plays at Auburn, I think in 2029, if I'm not mistaken.
How do you know that?
These are things that I know, random things that you don't know about me.
You got to go, man.
I know. I've always wanted to go to a game down in the South down there.
It's a great game day atmosphere, especially if it turns out to be a night game. You got to go.
Yeah, and then Miami's going to go in there and then whip their ass. So, I definitely want to be there for that. Here we go.
Now, man. We're turning it around.
Listen, I have a Bo Jackson jersey, Auburn jersey, believe it or not. How about that?
Athlete of all time. You got to.
I think so. All right, we can agree there. Moving right along. So, you do a lot of work in equities. Is that your primary focus, equities?
We try and cover everything. So a lot of my subscribers, I work with a lot of financial advisors. So I think equities and fixed income, but more traditional portfolios that your average financial advisor is going to run for, retirement plans and things like that are kind of my bread and butter.
So I imagine you're doing a lot of sector rotation work. Let's talk about the back half of the year. Is it going to be energy dominating in the back half like we've seen so far?
I don't know if it has to dominate, but it's a good-looking chart, man. I'm definitely on that case. I mean, I'm with Strazza. I was listening to the conversation. Looks like a very long-term sideways consolidation, especially if you consider what crude oil prices did, how much they went down and how well energy really held in. Yeah. So this is a chart, and it's also something I kind of wanted to bring up, is it a risk to discretionary? But we're breaking up above this $83, $84 level this morning. One, that's a breakout if you look at the 2023 range. But if you think back to late 2021, that's kind of where oil prices broke out and we saw the rest of the market split. I think that was Omicron caused that correction in like November around Thanksgiving. And everything went down, but oil prices, energy bounced right back up. But discretionary, it didn't get off the ground. So I do wonder if there's some significance to that kind of level. Does it equate to $4 a gallon in gas and things like that? But do we start to eat away from discretionary? But regardless, that just shows it was sideways, not down for energy relative to what oil prices did. And now I think they're both breaking out. So I do really like the energy story in the back half of the year.
I think what you said there, you nailed it. Energy's resilience, despite crude oil getting cut in half, Scott.
Oil prices gas, what was nat gas down? Like 80%?
Dude, these are massive corrections. And oil price and energy stocks are making new highs, hovering near highs. A breadth expansion in the energy, all these oil services and the offshore drillers and things like that. Where's your attention in energy specifically? And how granular do you get? You just look at it at the sector level, or you dive in deeper?
We'll dive deeper. We do individual equities and kind of the industry level. I really like oil services. I like Schlumberger. I like Baker Hughes. The E&P names have been okay as well. It's really, the integrateds are holding up, but they're really the weakest. Exxon and Chevron are kind of the weakest on a relative basis within that sector. So, if energy is working, you can usually get paid better going smaller and more aggressive, I think.
Yeah, even these oil services companies that were $150 billion market caps in the last cycle 15 years ago, they're $2 billion, $3 billion now. Like, what? It's crazy.
Yeah. I know we don't really pay attention to the valuations and the earnings story, but I have heard that stat that I think energy accounts for like 10% of the S&P 500 earnings, but it's only a 5% weighting still. So it does seem like, there's plenty of room, whether you just look historically or on a lot of different bases, for this to really continue to run.
No doubt. All right. So it seems like we're on the same page. Let's see if we can find something we disagree on. What else? What are you liking outside? Because energy is kind of like its own world. Like the S&P could sell off, it could rally. Energy is going to do its own thing, it seems like. What about something that's got a little more correlation, positive correlation with the overall market?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's correlations, but I brought a couple of charts just talking about, this morning we got the Broadcom earnings. It's kind of pulling back from that resistance. It looks like a lot like NVIDIA, where they seem to have a really strong report. But at least based on the pre-market action, we're just not going to be able to get there. It seems like we've got at least short-term buying exhaustion there. It's just the question is this going to be a longer-term thing? And the other chart I brought, I just thought this was interesting. Get your opinion on it. But it seems like we've had, in the last 2 weeks, we've had 52-week highs in NVIDIA, semiconductors, and also 10-year treasury yields. And I just find it interesting that it seems like everybody's implicit bias comes out in these two, because everybody thinks one of them is about to reverse massively. That was maybe more of the story of last year, was tech down when interest rates go up, and it's been kind of turned on its head this year. But both are definitely in uptrends, and so I'm definitely watching, with them at resistance, treasury yields. Maybe that was the top. I'm a little bit skeptical still. I know you've been putting on the TLT trade.
It's working, baby. Let's go.
It's one of those where I personally am torn, because it's one of the, I don't short 52-week highs or anything that's made a 52-week high too recently, but I thought the case for NVIDIA was there. I saw that stat about the last sell rating on the sell side went away after the earnings report. And then that very, very bearish candlestick on that Thursday, it seemed like the ingredients were there for a top. But here we are 2 weeks later, and we're like $5 from taking out those intraday highs. So
what does that tell you? It's kind of like when you have these hammers and strong downtrends, and everybody's like, "Oh, hammer time!" You get like the MC Hammer memes on Twitter, right? And then the market rolls over and makes new lows. There's nothing more bearish. This is the opposite, no?
I have to think that now, because I would say the best trades work right away, and that one is definitely not working right away. As for yields, I'm still watching like 4.1%. on the 30-year yield. That's been a little bit more of a consistent chart. The 10-year is kind of choppy, but 4.1%, very, very clean on the 30-year yield. So if we're above that, it's around 4% and change, 3.9 on the 10-year yield. But if we're above that, I'm still thinking energy and rates, the risk at least is to the upside.
And then what about some of these more cyclical areas like industrials, financials, materials?
They're on a relative strength basis, they're still in the middle. Obviously, the defensives are clearly the worst. They can't do anything on a relative basis. And we've seen this reversion to year-to-date leadership this week with tech, comms, and CD right up in front, and cyclical value in the middle doing well, but not as well. I think industrials definitely act the best. I'm most skeptical of financials, and then materials is kind of a split sector where you've got just outright shorts, and then you've got things like Lind Energy or Lind
Right,
PLC
chemicals
right
are just
up,
their own beast.
yeah,
Yep.
just right up at the top. So the materials sector acts kind of funny, but the relative strength for industrials is there at the large cap, the mid cap, the small cap level. So I think you got to stick with industrials for sure.
I want to ask you a question, something that we've been debating here internally, and I like to ask my smart friends. You talked about the lack of rotation into the defensives, staples making new relative lows, S&P low volatility index making new all-time relative lows yesterday, getting no rotation into defensives at all. You look at high yield credit spreads versus treasuries, not getting any rotation there at all. My conclusion has been that the lack of rotation into the defensives is further evidence that this is just a seasonal correction, perfectly normal within an ongoing bull market. And that's what that lack of rotation suggests to me, amongst other things as well. But it's more of that, basically. The other argument is that bills are paying so much that that's where the money's going. I don't buy it. What about you? What do you think?
I think I was listening to this argument, in the waiting room. I think you're both kind of right. So I think there's a lot of validity to what Strazza was saying. You look at a stock like Verizon that for my entire career has traded between $40 and $50, but because it was just a bond, it paid you 4.5%. You couldn't get that anywhere else.
Pays you 8 now.
Right. But it's just completely collapsed because, why am I dealing with all this ups and downs when I can actually go get paid in T-bills? At the same time, I think you're right. On a relative strength basis, in 2022, at the beginning, interest rates were rising and credit spreads were blowing out, and lowball was outperforming. So those stocks, even though they were getting hit,
Scott. Very
they were
good
outperforming.
point.
That's not happening. So I think that kind of does support more healthy internals, and that this is probably more a correction we should be looking to buy.
And I'm not giving you kudos because you agree with me. The kudos is because that's actually a very good point, right? You in early 2022, you had the rotation into defensives, you had credit spreads blowing out, and you had stocks selling off hard, and rates were ripping higher in that environment.
Right, and it's just different right now. So I think you do have to kind of take that message at face value.
I want to bring up this chart that Scott sent over. I think we all know by now that September is the weakest month of the year. I did not realize that weakness usually occurs in the back half of the month, though. So this is the S&P 500 average returns by day, the average path basically through September. And I did not realize this.
Yeah, and it's one of those just kind of putting on my Brian Dietrich hat. I worked with him for a number of years, really doing the seasonality, but looking at that intra-month chart, and it does give you the potential because it feels like seasonality's gone big time mainstream. It's worked so well for the past 2 years that, everybody on CNBC knows that this is the weak time of the year. But, where's the potential to kind of trip people up would be we have a decent start to September. Everybody goes, forget seasonality. It's not working. That was the end of the correction. When we're still following the playbook perfectly, it's just that, it's those last 2 weeks are what's much weaker. But I think the last 2 weeks from September 16th through the 30th, we've been down 46 out of 74 times back to 1950 on the S&P 500. So, maybe it is perfectly normal to get this little bit of a bounce here. at the beginning of September, people have already been talking about the bounce. We're only, today is the
Yeah, but
first
Scott,
day.
let me push back. Let me push back on you on that. Sure, every idiot knows that this is seasonally a weak time of the year. All those same idiots also knew that after midterm election years, it's the best time to buy stocks ever. They didn't. Stocks did very well. So we're going to give them credit for knowing and following through on seasonals today, but they fought it a year ago when it was the best time ever to be buying stocks. And sure enough, stocks did great exactly when they were supposed to. And these people fought it. So now we're going to give them credit. I don't believe it at all.
I'm not giving them credit. I'm just saying it's something that everybody is aware of. It's
I know, but
definitely...
they were aware that you buy after the midterm elections. Like, that's common sense too.
Well, that's right. But those people, they're probably not paying attention now, and they're probably not actually going to buy the dip, when the seasonals do turn. So, they may not be following it. It just might be, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to say, hey, look, seasonality is not working anymore.
Okay, so
if we have a little bit of a
let's
rally.
Let's check back in 2 weeks then.
We'll see. But
yeah.
I mean, I would say it would make sense to have a little bit of a rally here. Maybe we falter one more time and scare people a little bit more before we rally into year end. That's what some of the things with the calendar say. But we'll see. It's been a very strong bounce back over the past week. Everything you could look for, I think.
But do we overthink it considering it's the last week of August? There's nobody around.
Yeah, I mean, a bounce is a bounce. Like I said, the internals have been good. We had back-to-back 80% up volume days. So, I mean, maybe that was it on an intraday basis. A lot of the tech sector was close to 10% correction. Maybe that was it.
Can I just say that handlebar mustache you got going on is strong, man. Very strong.
I don't think we were going for the handlebar mustache. Might have to work on it if it's showing up as a handlebar.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not quite sure he's there yet, JC.
Dude, the mustache game is strong with this one. No?
There was a question in the chat on how to follow Scott's work. I threw his handle up on the screen, but also this is a link to his site. It's Brown Insights. Did I get that right? I got that right? Yeah.
browninsights.com.
There you go. Check it out. His handle again on the screen at Scott Charts, and does great work. And we appreciate the charts, Scott. So
you missed Dietrich that he left Charlotte for going back to Cincy. Is he a sellout?
Yeah, I mean that's where he's from, man. But yeah, he didn't waste any time. He blew out of here as quick as possible. So missed seeing him around.
Good for him. We're all friends with Dietrich. We're all rooting for him. Good for him. Back home in Cincinnati, he likes it there. He's a big He's the only Bengals fan I know.
He's the only one I know too. But hey, you know what? I guess it's a good time to finally go back and be a Bengals fan. You don't want to miss what might be a once in a lifetime opportunity for 10 years.
Touche. That's right. Those Charlotte Panthers, those Carolina Panthers, not so much, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of hype with Bryce Young and things like that, but after the preseason, that hype's died down a little bit.
I guess we'll see. Give me one stock before we let him go. One stock. What do you like? Give me a stock from now to the end of the year. What are we buying?
I'm going to give you two. I said, so Schlumberger is on my list for the energy, but I also really like the action in Amazon. If you are determined to stick with tech, I like that breakout we saw yesterday.
Ooh, Amazon.
Wouldn't have expected that.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
All right.
No.
I mean, you did mention consumer discretionary, right?
I think it's a risk, but Amazon, I think, can brush that off. It's the rest of those, we saw those retailers just get battered, some of those smaller names. You're not going to get
long
Amazon.
Google. We got long Google this week. That's kind of in that world.
They've got that similar setup with kind of a pullback to the breakout point.
Target back to the all-time highs, right?
I don't know about that one.
What do you mean you don't know about that one?
I thought you skipped over to Target, the stock. I was like, oh, no, that thing is a...
Oh, no, sorry. Definitely not.
No. Yeah, I think so. I think it's a real possibility for sure.
Got it. Target to all-time highs, definitely not. Or Target for Amazon being the former all-time highs, yes. Do I have that right?
I think so.
Google too. Yeah, exactly. All right, we agree too much. I don't like this.
Sorry,
I'm back when you disagree with us, all right?
Big fan of you guys' work. Probably makes some sense.
Thanks a lot,
Appreciate
Scott.
it. Adios.
See you all. Thanks for having me.
All right. I've heard some amazing things about Charlotte from just like a demographic standpoint. It seems like one of the better cities in the southeast part of the country. I've heard unlike other cities where I've heard, oh, it's overrated. I've heard Charlotte is underrated, actually. So not that I've ever been, but I've just heard some good things there. So
Yeah, it's
we'll
cool.
have to get down to Charlotte. They have a really, really beautiful minor league baseball stadium. It's like right downtown. You get a beautiful view of the skyline. It's tremendous. So,
Dude, I don't know anybody who likes minor league baseball more than you.
I don't actually like minor league baseball. It's just a friend of mine works in minor league baseball, so I like absorb this stuff through osmosis. But I don't
know. See, I think you like minor league baseball. There's nothing wrong with that. You should go next time you're in California. Take the wife to Napa, California.
Yeah,
take her
right.
to a little wine tasting, some bougie dinners, and take her to a Sonoma Stompers game. That's what you want. The old Sonoma Stompers.
All right, let's do that.
Just completely ignoring me.
Well, no, I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list.
All right, JC. I'm not going to see a Stompers game.
Let's do this crypto stuff right now. Where's my crypto bumper? Where's my crypto charts? Do we have those ready? Cool.
Oh, we do.
Okay, can I kick off this segment with a little bit of crypto news?
You are welcome to.
A little top of mind.
Yeah.
Spencer, do you see Robinhood? It's up about 3% pre-market. Who knows why?
I bet you do.
Does it have anything to do with an SEC filing? I saw that.
It's usually an SEC filing, but which one? Yeah. What?
The one that I saw was the U.S. Marshal Service.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get what that is?
No.
No, I have no idea what that is, actually.
All right, let's talk about it. Robinhood Markets entered into a share purchase agreement with the U.S. Marshal Service. This is the court marshal, right? For and on behalf of the U.S., pursuant to which the company agreed to purchase 55 million shares of their Class A common stock back from the government. Why does the government have 55 million shares? About $600 million.
Oh, FTX.
Oh,
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's right.
I did
That's
not put two and two together there.
Yeah,
man.
Fat Fred Savage stole a bunch of money and the government was holding it for a while, right?
Yeah, Fat Fred Savage. So the purchase price is just under $11, I believe. So yeah, not bad.
I was wondering. I was like, why do the U.S. Marshals hold whatever 60 billion Robinhood shares?
Not something you see every day.
Yeah.
A transaction like this. So I thought that was pretty cool.
All right.
It took a long time, right, for them to, get these shares back. When were these shares seized? Last fall?
Probably November. Yeah.
Took about
December.
a year, almost a year. Okay.
May I remind you, gentlemen, that it
Please do.
is not only Crypto Fridays, but we have fresh monthly candlesticks. So what do you say? You throw up the monthly candles for Bitcoin and Ethereum, just so you can see that they are doing nothing. Listen, when in doubt, zoom out. The fact that these things have been doing nothing comes within the context of the fact that both Bitcoin and Ethereum found support at those former resistance levels from the prior cycle's highs, right? So step one, hold the prior cycle's highs. Step two, rally off the prior cycle's highs. Both of those happened. Step three, get going. That hasn't happened yet, right?
Yeah, I think the price action, seeing this red candle now this month, is particularly bad because of the letdown of having that big day, the biggest day since March or whenever it was, and then getting no follow through. That was kind of a bummer. Like if we never got that 1 day's price action, right? And then we sold off the way we did.
We'll get there. You're getting a little ahead of yourself, right? We're zooming out first. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Now let's look at the weekly candles on the old Bitcoin, and that is the opposite of what we just saw, right? Rather than former resistance turning into support, now we're seeing the opposite. Former support has been turning into resistance. Look at those 2021 lows, and now that anchored VWAP from the all-time highs, as well as 31,000. We continue to fail there. We've been failing there all year. My bet is that the more times that 31 level is tested, the higher the likelihood that it ultimately breaks out. That's what I think. But it has not. Now zoom into the next chart here. This is exactly what Strazza was just talking about, how we had a major day. I was being told it was the most important day in the history of Bitcoin or something like that. Huge day, 5-6% moves in Bitcoin, 30% move in Marathon, as these institutions are buying the miners. Bitcoin gave it all back. The miners didn't quite give it all back. They gave some of it back. Bitcoin gave it all back. So from the downside, 25 is that level. Got to hold 25. 25 to 30 is, as long as we're stuck in that range, that's what it is. It's a range. And, if this was a stock and this was a liquid options market, Sean and I would be selling premium all day, just selling puts, selling calls, selling puts, selling calls, collecting that cha-cha. But it's not, and so we haven't been. We will in the future. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great market to sell options in, if and when that happens. And I think it does happen. It's more a matter of when. I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest.
Yeah. We were talking about the long lower shadows in crude oil.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the long lower shadows on the daily chart since mid-August at 25. I just saw something in the chat said a retest of 18. That's got to go through 25.
Yeah, we break 25, you're going to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buyers continue to show up at this 25. I think it's a huge mess between 25 and 30. Like that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's right. Which makes it a perfect candidate to sell premium, which is what I'm saying. Sean and I would be selling all day. There's Sean in the chat just saying, yup, all day. For sure, 100%. But it's not, so we haven't been. We've been doing other stuff. We sold it in Microsoft and Freeport instead, right? Probably getting less than we would be getting if we would be selling them in the cryptos, right?
You have to be so careful with this fun news that everybody got excited about the other day. Because on yesterday's reversal, there was more fun news, or the latest news, which was bearish, right? So literally you got the move up on positive fun news, then you got the entire move retraced on like negative news.
What, that we're not getting an ETF anytime soon?
I saw some headline, it might take longer than expected. Like, it's just,
they're just delaying. They have different decision deadlines for every company that applied, right? For Fidelity and BlackRock and whomever. And they just keep delaying them one at a time. And so it's like a never-ending series of deadline pushed back, deadline for X pushed back, deadline for Y pushed back, right? It's just constant delays. So I don't know when we'll ever get it.
Tony B, how about options on BitO, the futures ETF? Now, why would you do that? Why would you trade options on is that just a Bitcoin?
Yeah, no, there's no liquidity there, man. No way. You can't touch that.
That's not what you want to do at all.
No. You can't touch these things. Look at the options chain. There's no open interest in anything. Yeah. I guess there's some open interest in some of them. I wouldn't touch these things. Now.
How do you feel about some of the other crypto funds? I know we have the WAGMI one and what is it? BitQ, right?
Yeah.
BitQ is like the crypto industry innovators.
Yeah. No, I think you're better off picking some individual stocks. I don't like any of those things. There was one ETF that had like Walmart in it. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I don't mess around with those ETFs. If we have like a GLD type scenario where it's tracking the individual cryptocurrencies, that's one thing. In the meantime, I'm not messing around with these things. No way.
WAGMI is the miners, right? So that's pretty correlated.
We'll have to fact check this table 1740. If that's true, it's really interesting. This comment here.
Which comment?
This is a comment in the chat. We're not saying this, but it says BlackRock is the largest shareholder in BTC miners.
Oh, I think they are. I think they're the second largest. I think there might be the second largest shareholder in a few of these, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, isn't that on behalf of clients, though? Come on.
But that's the business they're in. They're not the second largest holder of other stocks or all the stocks that they're in. They're a large holder in a lot of stocks. Totally.
Listen, at the end of the day, they can own 100% of these stocks. It's still nothing for them.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Like, if they only own 10% of these stocks, what is that? 100 million, 200 million? That might as well be zero. That's nothing.
It's interesting if they're the largest shareholder in these companies. They're
the largest shareholder in so many companies. You can't.
I think they're the largest shareholder in a lot of stocks.
Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, who cares?
I wouldn't expect them to be the largest shareholder in crypto miners.
They're $1 billion stocks. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And BlackRock doesn't they own them because their clients own them, right? It's not like
They could own it for their own accounts. It's still nothing. It doesn't matter.
I don't even. I don't know.
200 million, 100 million, and 0 might as well be the same number. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's about the influence. Yeah, I assume you're referring to like voting. That's like a separate issue, man. They've been talking about that for like a decade at this point. I don't know.
Wavy's on the conspiracy theories on this fine Friday morning.
All right.
I see Wavy.
I don't think it matters. Let's bring in Kimmy. Talk about things that actually matter. Let's talk about some trades. Let's talk about some winners.
Let's do it. Kimmy Sokoloff here with us as she is every day. Where's my bumper? There it is.
Kimmy,
hey guys,
2 for 2 today. I like it.
Yes,
Snow and Meta. I like it. Also called out the SMCI, which is another very interesting situation. SMCI, huh?
Yeah, I recommend it around the 273 level, 273.50 or 60. So one person in the room took it. Amazon, I talked about in the morning, and I missed the trade. I spoke about it, talked about it, and then it just went, and I kind of watched it go. So that was my bad. It could have been a nice trade.
And what about, so you're watching this NVIDIA coming into today from the long side, up 4 points already.
We'll see if it pushes or not. I'm going to watch NVIDIA. I'm going to watch, we're already gapping up, right? We just had news out at 8:30, market's gapping up. I did tell everybody in the room, I was looking for a target on the S&P to 453 to potential gap fill to 455. The Qs filled their gap this morning at like 380.60 or so. So we'll see. We'll see if they keep it up high or pull it in. It's Friday before a holiday weekend, 3-day weekend, right? So we have to see what goes on. We'll see how Amazon does. It's already gapping up. Gap ups are always harder, I think. So we'll see if they can hold their momentum today. If they keep it, really this week, when you look at it, it was really only one trade, and that was Tuesday. The big spike up when the SPYs broke above 444. Okay, we had a huge move that day. Since then, we have gone higher, but it was very sloppy and choppy, believe it or not. So really, the one trending day was earlier in the week. That's how I look at it. But other people could look at it differently.
What do you do on a Monday that's a holiday? You wake up in the morning, you're not trading. What are you doing? You sleeping in? You going for a run?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
I might, when I get up, no, I'm too sore in the morning. I can't go for runs that early. I'm not like a morning workout person.
Do you work out in the afternoon?
See, maybe. Yes, I work out after the market closes, typically.
Got it. So then what are you going to do on Monday morning then?
I'm going to drink coffee. I'm going to sit in bed for a little bit.
Right.
And then I'll see if I might go see my brother. Maybe we have a barbecue or pick up my mom. It was my mom's birthday this week on Wednesday, and the hurricane came. I mean, I was like, Ma, you brought the hurricane.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Nice.
Yeah, Mama, 79.
And then what about today? So last day, essentially, I know Spencer says the last day of summer is in September. For all intents and purposes, from a trading standpoint, last day of summer today, Friday before Labor Day. You always say you hate Fridays. My suspicion is you hate Fridays before a holiday even more.
Before this holiday, no less, because it's already been slow.
Yeah, of all holidays, definitely this one.
Well, we were in an Airbnb over the past few days. Finally got executed this morning. The target was filled. So I don't know. Hopefully other people in the room had their trade in pre-market. I alert them. Right. Fridays are always hard. Option expiration, first day of September. So we have to see if September is going to live up to its name as being a weak month. Although this past August was probably one of the weakest Augusts in a while. Right, JC? You're more a statistic person than I am.
It depends where you look, right? They close out the month pretty strong, to be honest with you. I'm actually pretty impressed with the performance in August.
Right.
What's the over-under on how many trades? Over-under on how many trades Kimmy puts in today on a day that she doesn't like to
I
trade.
don't know. Yesterday was a quiet day, so that makes me want to say take the under. Whatever you're going to say, I'll take the under.
I'll set the over under at 2.5. I'm taking the over.
I'll take the under on that one.
I doubt it. I guess we'll see.
Yesterday was just the 2, right?
Just
Before we
the
let
2.
Kimmy run,
Yeah.
yesterday was just 2 trades. She called out a third, but Kimmy,
Right.
can you just quickly give me the levels on NVIDIA? I like this trade.
Yeah, above 497.
Above 497, you like it long. Target of?
Back to the highs, and then it could, what is that high? 502?
Yeah, 502.66, 502.5 or so.
Right. So you could trade it to there, and see if it pushes up to 505.
All right. I like it. I'm taking the over. More than 2.5 trades today.
Well, we'll also have to see, though, if it stays up there. Let's see if they keep these names up this morning.
Several profitable trades, and then on Tuesday we're going to talk about it. She's going to complain about what a hard market it was. Watch.
All right. Kimmy has to leave us now.
Well, the past few weeks have been hard.
Yeah. Kimmy has to leave us now and go to her room where she is live trading and calling out trades in real time as she's making them. If you want to be there with her as she's trading, trade along with her. You can use the link that's on the screen, use the link that I dropped in the chat, or use the link that is in the description of this video on YouTube. Kimmy, as always, go get them, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Have a great 3-day weekend, guys.
All right.
Yes, have a great day.
You too.
Adios.
Bye.
All right. Even Kimmy will not be trading on Monday, although she would if she could.
I might be interested in some crypto trades. I don't know. I guess we'll see what the market's doing. At the rate it's going, probably not, but you never know. I want to give a fun fact before we turn the mic over to Strazza. Historically, on the New York Stock Exchange, the day before a long weekend, around 3:30, everybody on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange starts going, whoop, whoop, right around like 3, and then at 3:33 is really the culmination of the whoops that has been a tradition on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange my entire career. Next time we have Jay Woods on, maybe we bring Jay Woods on the day before a long weekend and we can ask him about how that tradition started. Jay Woods has been on the New York Stock Exchange since like the early 90s, pretty sure. I'm very curious to see where that started. But today, if you just
I thought you were about to tell us.
What?
I thought you were about to tell us.
What, how that started? The whoops?
Yeah, I would love to know.
I would love to know too. I don't know how that started. But it's pretty funny actually when you see it.
It is.
We have
been there for that.
No knock on Jay, but we have other friends that work on the floor, or used to work on the floor, or still work on the floor.
I think Jay's the only one on the floor.
But Jay's in a league of his own. Jay's
a floor governor.
Yeah.
Jay's not just some guy who works on the floor.
A trader. Right.
Yeah. He's floor governor.
I said no knock on Jay, but we know other people. Anyway, okay.
I don't think I do. Not anymore anyway. No one's there. No, Kenny Polcari's not there anymore. He's in Florida.
I know a couple.
For all intents and purposes, Jay is like the mayor of Wall Street.
That's true.
Yeah, he knows everybody.
All right. We don't have a name for this segment yet, but Strazza, do you want to just sort of do your thing? And
the Strazza Spectacular.
We're gonna keep it short. We'll do
all the names that I suggested. Strazza hated, so I'm gonna let Strazza come up with his own name, and then we'll make a bumper next week. But
yeah, the crowdsourcing was, love you guys in the chat, but just terrible.
Step your game up, chat. Step the game up, chat.
Most of them sucked. Most of them sucked.
All right.
What do you got?
Let's do it.
You wanted to talk about Lululemon?
No, that's not what I was going to talk about. Oh. Would you like to talk about Lululemon?
Not particularly. Spencer looks great in Lulu pants, by the way.
Spencer looks great in Lulu pants. Did I hear that?
Yep.
I heard that right?
He struts his stuff around Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Wow. Okay. Sean is a big fan of the Lulu man pants also.
I'm a fan of the pants. I don't wear the tighty ones, but I wear the joggers.
Yeah. I've never. I need to try these joggers that everybody talks about. They love the pants. Yeah. They're called something like the Commission or something. The ones that everybody wears.
I don't know about all that.
All right, I'm right. Strazza Spectazza. Listen, we put out one of my favorite scans this morning. international Hall of Famers. What we're doing here is super simple. We are simply scanning by market cap, and we are looking at the largest U.S. listed companies that are based overseas, right? So these are all ADRs. So this gives us a nice mix of ex-US companies. The biggest ones, you see names like UBS, Eaton, Accenture, Honda, Toyota, Lind Place. Nice, diverse list. Mercado Libre. Want to talk about a couple that have stood out recently. First chart, UBS.
Wow.
UBS is going to be the first one. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, and I'm aware we're talking about it again because this chart is worth talking about a lot right now. You're not going to find many banks that look this good. And I really like how, I'm going to run a chart with volume at price here, and it's probably going to show that there's a nice little memory pocket in this zone that we're in now, right above these highs around 23, because of the speed and the rate at which we fell back during the financial crisis through these levels, and now we're back there. Maybe we fill it quick. What do you think?
The base, 15-year base, bro. I mean, come on. So as far as like gaps being filled and how high it could go, I mean, this is very powerful. Can we move on to Eaton? Another monster. UBS just recently joined the new highs list, right? 15-year highs, but more recently new highs list. Eaton's been making moves for quite some time. You got that chart? Or you want me to drop it?
We don't. I was not planning on talking about Eaton.
Oh, am I stealing your thunder here?
It's fine.
Am I forgetting that this is the Strazza Spectacular and not the JC show? Sorry. But I thought you would like it. Is it industrial making new highs?
Yeah, Eaton looks great.
Spencer, throw up slide 1 there. Eaton. Sorry. Stealing the thunder. Look at that.
Yeah.
New all-time highs. Come on. Been making new all-time highs, by the way.
This is a diversified industrial? What do these guys do?
For me, it's like one of these giant machinery engineering companies. Is it not that?
I wanted to say like they make elevators, but that's Otis.
Special industrial machinery. Sounds like they do a bunch of stuff. Look at this. The description's like it's like a dissertation. They do so much shit. They got all kinds of stuff. They got something called actuators. I don't know what that is. They got sensors, aircraft flap and see it systems. I don't know what any of these things are. Military aircraft, golf. They make golf grips.
Oh, really? Grips? Golf grips?
Golf grips. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's a weird one to put in your company description too.
Because you know why? Because maybe they do like, it's kind of one of those things where maybe they do a bunch of stuff with like rubber or something, and they're like, oh, this would be great to make golf grips too. Let's just, right? You know what I mean? It might be like they're already so close to having golf grips that they might as well go the extra mile, maybe,
Totally. A lot of companies do that and end up being in industries or businesses that you wouldn't expect.
Right. And then you'll find them in random ETFs and you're like, wait, what?
Well, I was looking up golf club manufacturers, and one of these gun manufacturers popped up. I told you about this, right? Because it said that they manufactured shafts, golf club shafts. But really, it's like an ammunition company. Strange, but similar. Other bank here that I want to talk about.
They're not an Irish company. I think technically they're an Irish company, but I think this is one of these tax scams, right? I think that they're American, aren't they?
I mean, I don't know. It says Ireland.
I know, but you know how that goes. Like, do you really think that they built this company in Dublin? I'm pretty sure they didn't.
What do you have against Dublin?
I love Dublin. I think Dublin is super underrated, actually. Everybody's like, oh, fly to Dublin and then get out of there and hit the country. And as nice as the country is, don't get me wrong, Dublin's sweet, man. I like Dublin.
I've never been.
You should go.
Can we talk about? Huh?
You should go. It's great. A lot of Irish people there.
I'll bet. We'll get there. Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group Inc. MUFG. Similar look to UBS. No? If you like UBS, it's hard not to like this one.
I mean, they look exactly the same, right? One's Swiss and the other one's Japanese, but same situation here.
I have one that I think you're really going to like now.
All right.
This is a good chart 33. Come on.
I mean, it's a huge base, man. What is it? A 12-year base?
And this year or two consolidation in energy stocks that we were talking about at the top of the show this morning is playing out right here. You see it drawn in blue in this little wedge. It's playing out as a little bullish continuation pattern at the upper bounds of the breakout level at those former highs. So great place to get involved.
Yeah. This is one of those examples. This is Canadian Natural Resources. Is this one of those where they changed their names, took energy out of it, and they called it Natural Resources? Is this one of those situations?
I mean, this is one of the larger multinational names, I think. So I don't know. I would think not. I think they've always been Canadian Natural Resources, but I don't know.
First of all, Eaton Corporation is from New Jersey. So yeah.
Saying Ireland.
So I said, no, man, it's a tax scam.
Who was saying Ireland?
It was a Jersey company that moved to Cleveland. No, they're based in Ireland, but it's for tax purposes. They don't build $100 billion industrial companies in Dublin, right? Like, that's not a thing.
The other thing too, sorry to change the subject, but I'm just looking at the CNQ chart. I like it so much. If we were to zoom in on just a little wedge drawn here with the two blue diagonal lines, if we were to zoom in, look at this chart right now. Ripped higher right above those pivot highs. What, late last week? Yeah. No, Tuesday of this week. Right. So that level over the short term, 2023 has just been straight sideways pretty much since November of last year. And we have had like 4 tests of this 62 level, finally taking it out. I think this one is very much resolving as we speak.
Do you want to mention any other charts, or should we go to an update on what the market is doing here on this lovely Friday?
Do your market update. I know how much you love this.
I do love the Dow futures up 225 points on this lovely Friday. S&P up another 65 basis points. NASDAQ up 60 bips. Bonds down a little bit. Gold up 50 basis points. Silver up 1%. Copper up 2%. Oil up 1.5%. Natural gas up 2%. Dollar down. VIX down. Rates inching up a little bit. Interesting day. Low volume. B squad on the desks. Probably even the C squad. This is one of those situations where even the B squad gets a break. There's nobody around. They're just, any trade's gonna knock the markets in any direction.
Is it the jobs? Did the jobs do this?
Do you think that the jobs did this?
No, but I will say, actually, I look at these reports. I look at the numbers every month. Typically, I'll just be like, it means nothing to me. But it does kind of stand out today. The unemployment rate is at historic lows, just extreme low levels. It's been very low for a long time now. They were expecting 3.5%. It looks like it's finally ticking higher, right? So unemployment came in at 3.8%. That's a pretty material difference from the estimate. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are estimates. They're going to get revised. Like, I don't know, man. I like to hear what Neto thinks to get some color on the situation short term, but bigger picture, it doesn't matter to me.
Neto's take on this report was that there's not much to do with it. So that sort of
big open for energy here. We're getting Sambo 161.8. Great handle as far as I'm concerned. Big open for energy, yeah. Look at ExxonMobil making look at ExxonMobil, Chevron making moves.
Big open for DELL this morning. They had earnings last night, which is why it's up 20% this morning. They crushed it on their
Dell's up 20% now?
Dell's up 20% this morning.
When was the last time you saw that?
Yeah, I think we have the chart somewhere here in this deck.
This is a new all-time high, by the way.
EPS crushed, sales crushed. I mean, they blew it away. So
look at this thing. New all-time highs for Dell. How about that?
Yeah.
Now remember, this is one of those things where, like, what, they got taken private. Michael Dell, I think, took it and then took it back out public again or something like that. Do I have that right?
Like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know I did more than once.
I didn't know you did it more than once. Are you just making that up?
I think he is. You're making shit up,
I
Spencer.
think you're
aren't
just
you?
making shit
Or,
up.
he tried to take it public again for years. Maybe that was it. Or remember there was the whole Dell. It was Dell VMware, right? And then it was like a spin-off. And
VMware came out of Dell? I didn't know that. Are you making that up again?
no, I'm
don't think
I'm not making up.
This is you guys just slow down over here.
Hold on. Can you throw up the chart of Dell so you can see those all-time highs? That's not something humans are used to seeing. Look at that thing.
Let's do
Slide
Dell.
one. Slide one.
All right, I'm getting it.
We also should do Avago or Broadcom and Charter.
Look at this thing. New all-time highs for Dell. Ain't that some shit? How about that? And by the way, on another note, this is a great example of a stock. Granted, it's is this a meaningless stock? Probably meaningless. You could probably say it's meaningless. This is 50 billion. It doesn't matter. So this is not the most important stock in the world, but Strazza, would you agree that it is a good example of how a name responds to those former all-time highs from late 21? And this is another example of a stock exceeding those highs.
I love seeing the gap on the breakout.
Agreed.
Like the breakaway gap. That's just a powerful signal. It's telling you it's a pretty decisive or valid resolution.
Yeah. So if you're going to be long Dell, the trade's very simple. If we're above those late 21, early 22 highs, you own it. That's the trade, and you're betting on a gap and go. Stock's around 67 right now. The all-time highs are 61.5, 62. We're gapping up well above that thing.
So what is going on with Charter Disney, Spencer? Spencer is our resident Disney
Dude,
What is a Charter Disney? What does that mean, Charter Disney?
It's a carriage dispute. These things happen all the time. Okay. So
the whole place is selling off on this.
Disney networks are not being carried on Charter at the moment. So if you are a subscriber, if you get your cable through Charter Communications, you are not getting ESPN or ABC or
really
anything like that at the moment. Anything that Disney owns. These disputes happen all the time, and one of the reasons to cut the cord, frankly, but it'll get resolved at some point, especially now that it's football season or about to be football season. And it'll get resolved.
All right.
Yeah.
A couple other cool headlines that kind of stood out to me this morning. This one, wow. Apple replaced by Dell as Morgan Stanley's top IT hardware pick.
Wow.
JC, you hear that?
Dell over Apple?
Right. Yeah. They just came out with that news this morning. Yep.
Smaller market caps. It's going to move more.
Hey, listen, Morgan Stanley's buying the breakout.
Well, as long as Morgan Stanley's buying it. Hasn't Morgan Stanley been like bearish all year? Like, why does their opinion matter?
Listen,
haven't they proven that they suck at this whole market thing?
This is sometimes these notes are good. A lot of times, like for a long-term thesis, there'll be something in it.
Bearish all year? It was like the greatest first half of the year in history, and they were bearish the whole time. Like, they're not good at this.
That's one thing that you're better off just totally ignoring is the broader market estimates, like the year. They put out the price targets at the beginning of the year. I don't know why they all do it on Wall Street, but they're always
shit I've ever
terrible.
seen, man. What are they thinking, these people?
All right. So no more analyst news. Amgen, hold on. Amgen settles with FTC on $28 billion Horizon deal.
So that merger is going through, or did the FTC fought it, and now is it clear to happen? I think it's clear to happen.
Settlement to me means green light.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is that? Just like a relief? More like a relief?
A lot of times in antitrust court or whatever, they will say you have to do this, this, and this to acquire the company. So they just settled and agreed to what Amgen has to do to acquire this.
Yep.
Horizon is a popular generics. It's a big generic name back in the day.
Speaking of which, you see Citadel at it again. Can we get to a little hot corner? Talk about some of these things.
We can.
Do it. Home improvement retail, Strazza.
Oh yeah.
So should we take this seriously?
Home improvement retail. Oh, our house. Our house. Yeah.
I like
okay.
I like how clever that name is. Get it? Our house. Haha.
Do you think that's what they did there? You think they did that on purpose?
I think it's pretty funny, actually. I'm not clever enough to come up with that. I appreciate good humor.
I know the name, but I feel like I don't know the stock. What do they do?
It's a $1.4 billion home improvement retail.
I've never heard of this.
Okay. Our house engaged retail of furniture, outdoor lighting, textiles, decor.
Chandeliers, tables and lamps, and textile products such as handcrafted indoor and outdoor rugs. You know, pillows and throws.
That's what they make. They make the tile, the tile and like vinyl flooring. The big boxes of the floors that you get at Home Depot.
Sean, are we getting any action selling the 15 calls and the 7 puts? Any action there? Is Sean still in the chat? Sean, check that out. It's a small company, so there might not be enough liquidity, but I like the messy range that this is in. Yeah, I like the messy range that this is in. You've been doing some home improvement there, Strazza. No, you're not shopping at our house, getting some lamps?
It's funny. It's funny. I'm probably going to be back at Home Depot for like the 3rd time this week today.
Dude, this guy.
You're going golfing today. That's great. I'm so happy for you. I got a date with Ford and then Home Depot, and if I'm lucky, if there's time, the DMV. So enjoy your golf. Say hi to Jeff and Kenny for me.
That sounds like a terrible day.
Yeah. Well, I golf.
Hold on. What about this guy? Celebra Capital buying this PI. You always talking about this PI.
This is the one that threw back to this. Yeah, these former highs from 2017. This one's been on the list a lot recently.
It has.
The best looking chart really on today's list is on. Right. Again, we talk about these shoes all the time. This.
I get so many compliments on these shoes.
You have a pair?
I did, because remember, I was given a conference call for our clients, and I was talking about the chart, and I was like, I've never heard of this company, and then I got abused, like ripped.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about these shoes. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a little due diligence. I'm gonna get some shoes. I got them. They're fine. I don't have any complaints to get them, but I mean, it's just a pair of shoes. My wife, on the other hand, also jumped on the research bandwagon. Got a pair for herself. Wears them all the time.
Yep. So sometimes, like these algorithms and these social media sites, they mess up their marketing a little bit. Tell me if this has ever happened to you guys. Every time I'm watching a YouTube video or something, I'm seeing ads for on shoes. Because my computer or my phone thinks that I need or want these shoes, because I've been to the company website so many times and I'm always searching for the company in Google. They're marketing me the shoes. I see them all the time.
Nerd alert.
Steve, I get served ads for every stock market tool under the sun. Okay.
Show the chart there, slide 1 there.
It's because
I can hear the Invesco QQQ commercial running. Yeah.
Yep.
Last time JC ran. Oh, Sam.
All right. Anyway, on. Yeah, nice base, I guess, right?
How about Sam? How about you come over here and I'll race you, right? We'll do a 10-mile run. See who gets there faster. I'll take me all day.
Okay.
I run hills, baby. My legs are strong like bull.
I just found this out. You know he runs hills, Spencer? You believe
he
that?
calls me.
Yeah.
I don't call you. You call me.
He loves to call during his walks and his exercises and his car rides.
Yeah.
He's a big car caller.
I don't like to call while I'm exercising. The car, yes, because I'm just sitting there, not when I'm exercising.
All right. We have Ian Culley here lurking backstage.
Bring him on.
Should we bring Ian on here?
Hell yeah, I'll bring Ian on.
Some Friday fic.
Tell everybody where they can get the hot corner, first of all.
Yeah, Friday fic action.
Yeah, Friday fic.
Let's find where's my Ian bumper? It's been a minute since he's joined us. There it is. All right, Ian, you ready? Let's go.
Morning, guys.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's up, my man?
Well,
He's got
man,
the
just
most like
chilling.
chill bumper with the bass line. We always say it. It's
I
very,
like it.
very
I like
smooth.
it.
Yeah.
It's very, very
Is it
chill.
still-
Very chill. So what do you think? Oil at 250?
250. Let's get to 100 first, but I like it. I don't think it's out of the question. Maybe not next year, but maybe sometime in the next decade.
But 100's a lock this year?
This year,
Where are we at?
that's tough to say.
Mid-80s.
That's tough to say.
Is it? Come on.
I gotta see it really, hold above that 83.50 level. I mean, it's there, it's trying.
If the base completes, I think
it's
you
having
can.
a great morning.
Yeah, if this reversal pattern completes and we take out the shelf of resistance here at these pivot highs, right?
Mhm.
Which it looks like we're doing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Then I think 100, sure. All right.
Yeah.
Ian, I want to know what you think about this. I'm bummed that I missed the Scott Brown interview today. I am feeling a little bit low energy. I saw something in the chat. So bummed. I really like Scott. I like his stuff. And when he was showing that chart of discretionary and energy, I've been thinking to myself for the past few weeks now, I really like energy. I really like technology. One thing I'm constantly asking myself, Ian, you know this, is who are the leaders going to be? Who are the leaders going to be over the next quarter or into the back half of the year? And I can see a situation where energy and tech lead together. Am I crazy, guys? Can this happen?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't see why
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Because energy is going to do what it's going to do regardless of what tech's doing. So, right? So if tech gets going and energy's going too, right?
And I really like Mark Dow's take on tech. I know you guys had him on a month or two ago.
Did we?
Tech's just more of just a secular grower than a long duration asset. When you kind of shift our perception and understanding of tech.
More of a grower, not a shower.
Hey.
What about the base metals? I mean, we're just selling premium in messy Freeport. That's been our strategy. That's worked.
It's been working, right? That's a great way to describe base metals right now, especially copper. It's a mess.
Guys, quick little update here. I just got some intel from my mom. Furniture store, Danbury Mall, nice, higher end. I imagine she's talking about our house. So my mom's out there doing some boots on the ground research.
And what did she say about it? Is it a good store?
She said the things I just read you. So
What
it was
mall
higher
is
end.
this? What mall is this?
Danbury Mall. The Danbury Mall is a nice mall. It's one of the nicest.
Is it nicer than the Trumbull Mall?
Dude, the Trumbull Mall is. Don't say that. The Trumbull Mall is like bad. It's not.
I haven't been to the Trumble Mall in 25 years.
I was gonna say, JC, do you even go to malls?
I went to a mall like a month ago. I did.
The Trumbull Mall has been a disaster for a long time. We don't go to the Trumbull Mall.
Really?
Yeah, no, you don't even go there anymore.
You too bougie to go to Bridgeport?
First of all the stores are gone. It's just it's a bad scene over there. We'll drive to Milford if we're looking for like a local mall, Milford or Danbury. Both nice options. Yeah.
I've never been to Danbury. Is Danbury all right?
Danbury's great.
Is it?
Yeah, Danbury's nice.
Great.
Yeah, totally.
Great, or is that a little aggressive?
Last time I was there, JC, was the night before we did Compound and Friends. I had to shoot to the Danbury Mall late that night before to get some slacks for the show when I came to New York City. So I've been there recently. Yeah. All right, enough talk about malls.
Hey, who does Miami have this week, JC?
Miami,
Ohio.
Oh,
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew that there was a Miami, Ohio is because they have a football team.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have no idea.
They have a large Jewish student body. A lot of my Jewish
Miami,
friends,
Ohio?
Yeah, a lot of my Jewish friends in high school went to the University of Miami of Ohio because of the community. Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? What about sugar?
Sugar looks good. It needs, I want to see it back above 26. We're going to talk about seasonality later today on the What the Fick program. And sugar's heading into a really strong seasonal period of the year. So we got our eyes on sugar. Natty gas is also entering a very, very seasonally advantageous part of the year. So yeah, it's
big base, that natural gas, man.
Oh, I know. It's trying to break out.
And then I've been getting asked about this gold. Until real rates start rolling, there's nothing there, right? You need real rates to start coming off hard.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it a need or a want?
I'm kind of hung up on that. I don't know if you really need to have real rates.
The market keeps proving that you do. No?
But
what's more important for that trade, dollar or real rates?
I think it's been real rates.
You think it's real rates?
I think it's real rates.
Yeah. I'm just so impressed of how resilient gold has been over the past couple of years as real rates have just ripped. So
Agreed. But it hasn't made any progress. It's been resilient, but hasn't made any progress in that environment.
It hasn't.
So and that eases up. There's your ripper in gold, no?
Right. So when I look at gold and talk about gold every week, it's been all about focusing on support. Right. I've been talking about the prior commodity super cycle peak from 2011 around 1923 for months now, and it's just been steadily holding above that level, but really not a lot to say in terms of ripping to new highs. So yeah, it's just more of it's resilient. I'm impressed. We'll see what happens here. I mean, the dollar, this dollar bounce, we could have a stronger dollar on our hands, and that's definitely not going to help gold's case.
What about on the stock side? Not just gold specific, but commodities in general. What are the don't say coal. Are you going to say coal?
I was going to say uranium. Is that close? That's pretty close. Kind of.
It's
kind of. CCJ looks good, right?
I mean, you're not going to get any arguments from me.
Uranium stocks look so good.
Uranium stocks keep ripping, man.
Yeah.
This is real. It's not like, as they say, some Canadian scam. Like this is real strength. I mean, look at just CCJ. Like we talked about the performance, the sector performance over the last 3 years, right? Anchoring exactly 3 years, but also that is when they kicked ExxonMobil out of the Dow. And since then, the sector returns are so obnoxiously skewed in favor of energy. It's crazy. But in that same environment, CCJ Cameco, which is the blue chip, bellwether uranium stock, has gone from 5 to 35.
Yeah.
That's 7x for you math majors.
Wild.
Right?
I was just looking, the chart looks similar to energy, right? That's how it just came up in conversation, URA. Uranium, similar, same thing that we said about energy and that Scott was pointing to. Huge ripper off of the 2020 lows and has gone sideways for even longer than energy. URA peaked out early 2022, late 2021. Mm-hmm. Been sideways since, just consolidating these massive gains.
Because how much URA is Cameco? Not as much as it should be, probably, right?
It's
close to 20%, right?
That's nothing.
That's nothing. That's almost a fifth.
It's 26%. It's
26, so it's a quarter. Yeah.
I know, but think about what all the other ones are. They're a bunch of little nothings.
Nothing.
Right? So, rarely will you ever hear me say that 26% of an index is not enough. But in this case, it probably isn't.
Shout out Peter. Energy Fuels, UUUU. Forget that ticker symbol.
So many U's.
Is one of my personal favorites. They also mingle in the vanadium markets. So.
And
vanadium.
Can you explain to me what vanadium is? Anybody?
I'm not.
Now that's a Canadian scam.
Yeah. No. It goes into a lot of trendy shit.
Yeah, it sounds like a green metal to me.
When I was in high school, we used to have this guy named Raymond, and we used to tell girls that he invented Raymonium, and they would be asking about Raymonium. This was like one of our bits that we would run in high school. This is real. We just tell the girls, be like, he is the inventor of Raymonium.
Big deal.
What is
big deal?
It worked then, you know. It get the conversations going, right?
Yeah.
Then it was up to us to screw it up after that. We found the way.
So we're going to recess now because there's 3 minutes to go. Miami is playing their first game tonight. What are you guys eating for the game?
Are we going to hit the bumper? Hit the bumper.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hit the bumper.
Do the bumper. I'm just so happy that football's back. I think I'm just going to traditional wings tonight.
I'm
Wings
doing
and
wings
football.
too.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I got ribeyes. Should I audible here at the end?
No, you want the wings.
I want to give a shout out to the Florida Gators, starting out 0-1 for the season, losing to a minor league team in Utah.
It's nationally ranked, though. They're nationally ranked.
They're in Utah.
Low blow.
They don't have football there. That's not.
Johnny Utah go to Utah, right?
No. That's
obviously.
You know,
No,
this is bad form. You're taking a shot at the Gators when Sean isn't even on here to defend them.
I'm just giving a shout out to the Florida Gators, starting out 0-1, losing to a minor league team. It's not my fault. What do you want from me?
I see you.
I don't know what that has to do with Sean. It's not my fault.
Didn't Utah win? Didn't Utah win last year in Florida?
Florida seems to be losing a lot these days.
I don't know.
So,
They did. Anyway.
And Miami keeps winning the recruiting battle too. So the players are listening. The people have spoken. Spencer Israel.
All right. Who's got any good Labor Day weekend plans besides me? I'm going on the Jersey Shore. What else you guys got?
Where are you going? Where are you going to the shore?
LBI, Long Beach Island is every family in New Jersey has their spot. My family's spot is on LBI. We've been going there my whole life, so I'll be there tomorrow morning until Friday. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try to join the show on Tuesday, depending on my unreliable beach house Wi-Fi. But the show will go on whether I'm there or not. I'm going to attend.
I've never been to LBI. It's nice.
Better for families. I mean, there's no boardwalk, which is kind of a bummer. But if you're into the
boardwalks
quiet,
are pretty grimy anyway. It's probably a good thing.
They are grimy, so it's not a grimy place as a result.
Right.
And especially the week after Labor Day, it's a ghost town, which we like.
Which I love.
What do you think?
Agreed.
Yeah. Spencer, what do you think it is with New Jersey and boardwalks? I mean, you people just love your boardwalks over in New Jersey, right? I mean, it's true. There's more boardwalks per capita in New Jersey than anywhere.
I mean, California has piers, right, which are kind of the same thing. We have boardwalks. It's
Miami
just
Beach has a boardwalk. Why are you hating on boardwalks?
It's just our thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Just because Connecticut doesn't have any boardwalks doesn't mean that, right?
No boardwalks. No boardwalks in Connecticut.
No boardwalks. Nobody wants to walk along the Long Island Sound anyway. That's why there's no boardwalks in Connecticut.
No, nobody wants that.
Great point.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
I can't believe my parents let me swim in that water when I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
You swimming worse. It's all right. It's all right. No plans this weekend, just family stuff. I might go get some clams at the fish market, go get 200 clams. I'll try not to leave them in my cooler this time. I learned my lesson. My cooler smelled for like a month, man. It was not good. Got to be more responsible with my coolers.
You do.
I do.
Especially if you're paying $300 for them or whatever these Yetis cost.
I don't think I paid $300 for it.
They are expensive. No, they are expensive.
They are expensive. I need to be better with my coolers. I apologize to cooler people all over the world. Yeah. I'm going to do better. Right. I will do better.
I will be using Labor Day to kind of catch up or get ahead because we have a busy week next week and the following, right? We will be in California.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Oh, I love.
That's gonna be lots of fun. Are you guys gonna do a podcast while you're there?
We got uninvited. We are not wanted at Future Proof.
I'm doing the Wisdom Tree podcast, so some of us are wanted.
JC's doing a podcast.
We are not doing a show from there, which is okay because we have other things to do. We have to do some work for the documentary while we're out there, right? So we'll be trucking. We'll be trucking.
Can't wait. California's a great place. Lived there for 5 years. It's a second home to me.
We always make our California trips count at the studio.
We're going to a football game too. Pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Pretty stoked.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be a grand old time.
We got What the Fit coming up in an hour and a half. We're talking fall seasonality, as Ian mentioned, so stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a lunch and learn a little bit later at 1. Going to go over just some of our products and just take questions about what you guys are, what do you guys want to see from us? It's going to be just a general Friday, Q&A type of thing. So that'll be at 1. What the Fick before that, though. Thanks to our guest today, Scott Brown. Thanks to all of you in our chat. We're at 61 likes on YouTube. Get me to 100, please. I'd appreciate that. And that's all I got. Thanks to Ian. Thanks to Kimmy as well. We'll catch you guys later.
And then, Spencer, do you want to give a quick programming note? There are some questions about when we will have shows and when we will not have shows.
We did at the beginning.
I did.
Where were you?
Morning show. Morning show will be back on Tuesday. Normal day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Fridays when things get a little bit funky. But Tuesdays when we're back, and everyone, if I don't see you, enjoy the holiday weekend. Go get outside. If I do see you,
have fun at the beach.
Yeah.
All
All right. I'll see you guys on What the Fick, though.
Let me know how you do, Jay.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah. Hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah. I can't take no loss.